Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Today we're going to look at another one of those episodes, Why Do Reels Fail? I picked this one up recently, and by all looks it's almost new. I mean, there's some light scratching going on, but it doesn't look like there was anything that would be severe at any point, and yet the reel doesn't turn. So we're going to take it apart, see if this is something that's easy, like a piece just fell out of place, or if it's something more significant. So in order to do that, I'm just going to kind of remove it down to its base. I'm going to take the spool off. It's just easier access. There's nothing going on up here, but there's just gets it out of your hand's way. We're going to pull the handle off next. This one has a through screw. You can usually tell by the button on the side what kind of handle it is. And I like to take that button and put it right back into the handle so that I don't lose it. And already I see that the bail just turned up there, so that's kind of interesting. Turned a little bit. We got a little bit of movement anyway, so let's find out what's going on there. Next off, we'll take the 4 side plate screws off. This is a rear wheel drag. It's from the bottom, so you don't need anything going up top on the rotor. And also, you have a quick release, quick fire, which also seems a little bit, there we go, tight. So we'll just take this apart and see. The Shimano FX300 been around a long time. This is their lower end, medium and freshwater lakes, ponds. Probably typically will be fished with about 10-pound test. It's bigger than some of their other rear drag reels. But solid performer, relatively inexpensive, but that doesn't mean it's poor quality. It's a fine piece of equipment that a lot of people have been fishing, and that's why I'm kind of curious why the parts failed. So let's take that side plate off, and underneath here, looking at it, it looks like it's pretty much new. Just kind of like what the outside was saying. I don't see anything terribly dirty in there. You have a bushing on the side plate here, not a bearing. See if we can pull this off. We can't, so let's go ahead and grab that grab the cleaner, and we'll take the adjuster off so I can get that shaft out of there. There's a little pair of so there's a little bracket, kind of like 2 C-clips on a bracket. There's a little bit of grease accumulated around it, but we should be able to get this off. I mean, a convenient way to do it without prying. There we go, we can lift it up that way. That's what we're looking at here, is a clip with kind of 2 C-clips on it. When you pull that out, then you can pull the shaft up normally. Maybe that's where we get the seizure right here. Shaft doesn't want to move. So there's something going on inside here. Not sure what this is. It looks like a big chunk of something. I'm trying to figure out. It appears to be grease. Didn't want to do that. I'm going to put there we go. Sometimes if you put that on, you got better leverage there. Pull the main gear out, pull this gear out. I'm not seeing any broken parts. Ooh, I'm seeing I've got something stuck right here, which is kind of interesting because there's nothing there to terribly get stuck. So let's pull there's a little U-clip here that's going to hold that rotor on. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get that out. And this whole thing should just pull right off. So got it down. I believe something's going on here with the way that the anti-reverse would have been set up. I'm going to pull that off. Very dry, but other than that, not sure that there's something going. This is where I'm not an expert. I don't don't know these reels that much, but my guess is that we got something chewed up in here. So I'm going to take a good cleaning on this. I'm going to hit this with some WD-40 just to get the parts a little bit loose. And I'm going to grab a piece of steel wool. See if I can't get some of that dried grease off. So my guess is this thing was probably purchased, maybe went fishing once or twice. Kind of inexpensive reels tend to do that, right? You buy them maybe for a weekend, or you buy them for maybe somebody coming to visit at your cabin or something, and you're not making it your everyday fishing reel. And then you go lay it down somewhere. And let's just put this in without the drama there. Well, that's going to spin freely, there's no question about that. We have some heavy grease here. I'm going to just try and grab that and get that off of there. But again, it's nothing that says that there's a broken part or a piece or something missing in this. So it's got to be in this anti-reverse piece then. And I don't know if that just got frozen there or if it's something more than that. So let's go just try and figure it out then. We have a little tab. We have a locking device here. And this is probably where I'm going to have to go to if I can't guess it the first time, I'm going to have to go to the schematic and see how this assembles. And there may be a spring or something missing on this. We're going to find out. Again, no pieces or parts broke out of that. This piece certainly goes in here. There's a little groove with a little centering pin that's on there. If that's going to do the spinning, you would say that would go on next. Just grab this and put this back together here. Again, there's dried grease, which is an indication that this reel has been sitting for some time, but it's not an indication of a failure point. Alright, well, it's spinning now. There you go. It wasn't spinning before. All right, we gotta go see how that point up top is, because I'm not getting an anti-reverse here. All right, I'm going to shut this off, go get the schematic, and I'll be back on this and we'll take a look. So this is kind of a first. I went online and couldn't find the schematic for it. Not that unusual, but I guess there probably just isn't parts available for these. These are kind of mass produced, and then I think they're just kind of done with. So I'm just going to see if I've played around a little bit with it. I seem to be able to have gotten most of this. Just going to do a little bit more cleaning. And sometimes you just have to logic your way through this thing. You just have to think, how can it possibly go? Now this is one of those that doesn't have an instant anti-reverse by any stretch. It always returns to the one point. And that one point being the place where that trigger will work for your quick fire. So I just put it on the back here. We're just going to set it in, give it a spin. It's spinning, which is nice. I'll go ahead and put the clip back in then. That'll hold the rotor down, if I can get it done right. Looks about right. We'll give it a spin. It's spinning. Okay. Put a little bit of grease on the pinion gear. Put a drop of oil on the where that wedge is too, and then we'll just try and reassemble. We'll grab the main gear here. It doesn't look terrible. As I mentioned, when we opened this up, it looked pretty good. There's evidence that this thing has been sitting for quite some time. You can see how that grease is just coming up in chunks, but it's not caught in the teeth or anything. So to me, somebody bought this reel and it's been in storage for quite some time. It was used, but I think that's probably what's been bogging it down, is just that it's been in storage and all the grease is just dried in its tracks. And with a little bit of lubrication and cleaning, I think we're going to be able to get this one back into somebody's hands to go fishing. Okay. All the teeth seem to be right on the gear, both inside and out. Just going to grab the grease, put it on a couple of sections of the main gear. And put a little bit onto the teeth that are going to drive the crosswind gear. Here's your crosswind gear here. Put some on the back, a little bit on the teeth, a little bit on the front where the crosswind block is going to ride. That'll go in first. We're going to drop that stud on the crosswind block all the way down to the bottom. And grab the main gear then and put that in. There's something of a bushing here. I don't know if I can get that off. The bushing has two studs on it, one on each side. They need to go into the case. To get that off. It's one of those points where I don't have the hand strength that I'd like to have. But we'll get it off. I don't like prying things, but sometimes that's the only way you can get it off if you don't have the that hand strength. So we can get another hold. There we go. All right. And as I mentioned, we have these two studs that ride in the case here. It's going to be easier just to take that crosswind block off again. Now you need to align the two studs in the case for the bushing. It's a plastic bushing, but these reels don't take a lot of stress and strain, so it's not that important to have anything much more than this. Still aligning those. There we go. We're aligned with that. Put the crosswind block back in. Put the main gear back in. Put a little bit of grease on the top of the main gear. Not much of that is required, and also onto the side of the shaft there. I did notice we had a little bit of gunk and stuff on the main shaft as I took it out, so let's just clean that off. Again, it's more evidence that it's just been sitting. Bring that back. We can bring that through. This is a D-tube. Now you're looking for the, oops, need the crosswind block in there. Crosswind block rides on the stud, and we can bring it down, bring it through. Now we're looking for the two slots to line up for that C-clip. So a little bit of chunk on that, some older grease. You want to put that C-clip in from the top like that, and then just flip it around. When you push it down, you'll have that lined up for your screw. That's going to hold that on. We're getting near the moment of truth here. Is this thing going to work? Or is it just going to be one of those project reels that you call tuition reels? As I mentioned, it didn't come at any cost because it was broken. But one never knows until one gives it a try. Okay, we're going to put the case back on. Put a drop of oil in the case. Use real oil when you oil reels. There's a couple of screws that go in here. They were all the same, so it doesn't matter which hole they go back in as they get reinstalled. These are Phillips head screws, so keep a good complement of tools on your bench, whether it's necessary for a particular reel or not. You never know when you're going to need one. You've seen me use a couple of different things to go scrape grease and try and line pieces and that have nothing to do with, you know, if you had a project list and said you're only going to need these 3 tools or something. I keep a lot of things right at hand here because you just never know. Like that pliers, when I wasn't able to grip the bushing to get it off, just grabbing a pliers rather than having to put your project down and going, you know, looking for one at that point. Okay, and we're done with the base. Let's see what this yields us then. Handle back in. Handle screw. And let's see if we got something that is going to work. There we go. We're working again. And there it is. The anti-reverse always returns it to where your thumb goes. Your thumb is the flip lever. So I would just say that the cause of this one was that we had a bunch of dried grease. And that dried grease caused this thing to, this is with it off. This is with it on. We're getting the, all right, there we go. Shimano FX300 medium duty reel. Like I said, this one will probably be a 10-pound line class. Good for some deep lakes, some rivers, some casting. You know, a lot of folks like that easy cast feature. And this one's ready to go fishing again. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. And I ask you to subscribe and stay tuned if you'd like to see more. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Thank you for watching.